think in regard to astrology, it's important to emphasize that the context is very important. And what I mean by that is that knowing the person is super helpful. And this applies to a public personality like Trump or any other person. It's extremely helpful to know how the person is expressing their energy and then fit that into the planets. And of course, Trump is very well known. A lot about his life is published in great detail with date and time. And this is something I use when I'm assessing the situation. And so when I look at what is going on in his chart and I see the direct opposition of Saturn at election time, I look to see what he was doing with the same exact aspect earlier in the year. And of course, the answer is he was doing terribly. February was a catastrophic month in terms of his response. He responded very, very poorly. And because of his lack of a proper response, we find ourselves in the jam that we're in. A further context is that knowing the subject is also extremely important. And my astrological trajectory spans about 40 years, and I only count about 20 years for my political trajectory. I've always had an interest in it, but in terms of intense following and study, I only count about 20 years, but it's enough to give me a pretty good sense of what is going on. And in addition, I follow it closely. I track polls, I track numbers, I track trends, and I watch all of the players, Trump especially, very carefully to see what they're doing and when they're doing it. And so then I put all of that together with what I then see in the chart, as opposed to doing it in abstract. And I find that that works very well. And so when I see that early in the year he is badly mismanaging the same aspects that he has to face later on, I can only draw a conclusion that the outcome necessarily has to be negative in November of 2020.